Sasaki set to pitch 3 to 4 innings, but he's not going to start the game. This is coming up on Tuesday. I'll have the story on that, how they're going to work him into the game. Also, Dalton Rushing making a case for himself with the walk-off, trying to make the team, and we'll talk about that story as well. And also, even Dave Roberts didn't believe Freddie will be ready for the start of the season. All those stories and more coming up. This is Dodgers Digest. Brad J. at the helm, in the saddle, breaking down the latest Dodgers news for you on a very fine Saturday. Let's break it all down. Make sure you subscribe. Do that. Also, hit the like buttons and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a second of Dodgers Digest. Let's get down into the meat and the potatoes of what is going on, my friends. And the big news, Sasaki set to pitch 3 to 4 innings on Tuesday. Now, you may remember Sasaki did a simulated game a few days ago, and I think it was the second pitch that he got taken yard. So I'm sure he's going to try to make up the difference on that. But can he bounce back from that? Well, you can see this from MLB, Sonia Chen talking about Sasaki's debut slated for Tuesday. And then you would think to yourself, okay, he's slated for Tuesday. Would he be slated to start on Tuesday? I mean, that's what his job is, starting pitching, right? But that's not necessarily the case, and I'll get to that in just a second. But the breakdown, of course, for everything going on with this one. Spring debut, Sasaki set to make his first appearance, Cactus League, and that's going to be happening Tuesday night against the Reds. And the first pitch is set for 6:05. That is Mountain, 5:05 Pacific. And that would be, 8 o'clock on the East Coast, Camelback Ranch. The location, and, of course, one thing great about being a Dodgers fan, Sportsnet LA always has the show. MLB always has TV coverage of it. So you'll be able to see it. But it is not an ordinary start for him, right? And Dave Roberts has a plan, and we got Dave Roberts talking here in the Dodgers Digest quote of the day. And this is coming on regarding Sasaki, how they're going to work him into the game, and this is what Roberts has to say about that one. Well, Sasaki's not going to start the game. Okay? All right. Good enough, right? He's going to follow Yamamoto, so a couple of countrymen getting to follow each other in the same game. Can you imagine if they could finish the game just with those two? I doubt that's going to happen, but he is scheduled to build up to about 4 innings. And the plan is for Sasaki to enter the game at a predetermined time. So he's obviously going to look at the lineup and decide, all right, maybe I bring him in against the 5, 6, 7 hitters, or the 6, 7, 8 hitters, or the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Maybe you do that to build up his confidence. So he wants to bring him in at a predetermined time to get through at least 3 innings. And then Dave goes on to say maybe even touch a 4th inning on that as well. So thoughts on that one? Let's hear the thoughts below on that. Do you think you should even go that far? I mean, if he's pitching that good, and with the mistake that he made in that simulated game, you got to think that he is now going to be ready to go on this one. And this is big. I mean, there's been so much hype on everything, so this actually is, when it comes down to it, to see what he can do and represent himself and pitch well. I doubt, gut instinct, Brad Stradamus would have to think on this one. I don't think he touches the 4th inning. I think he'll get into trouble for that. I would think that he might have trouble towards the end of the 2nd inning, a little bit of trouble in the 3rd. I think that he probably gets pulled in the 3rd inning, just because it's a whole different scenario. He's coming from a whole different league, a whole different style of baseball play. So it's going to take him a little while to get used to it. All right, let's keep the story going. Dalton Rushing making a case for himself. And what a tough break for him. One of the top prospects. You got Dalton Rushing, right? He's a top prospect. And he's a catcher. And when you got a guy like Will Smith, his contract, 10 years? The Will Smith contract, it's hard to find room for him. And Fiducia, too, as well. Think about him on the Dodgers. So where do you put Dalton Rushing? Well, he made a case, walk-off double to beat the Angels. Nice, right? Same game that Shohei went oppo at his first at bat. So that's good stuff right there. I like to see him making a case for himself, but I got to think it's going to be tough for him to make that team rushing hit. Here's the numbers on him to check those out from last season. Hitting 271. Did that between Double-A Tulsa and did it between Triple-A OKC. Popping 26 combined home runs. That's nice to hear that, right? It's unclear if Rushing has a chance to make the roster out of camp. And that's the thing. When you have so many other guys that are talented too, you've really got to do something that makes you stand out. And for Dalton, he's doing stuff like that. Walk-off double, that's a way to show that, look, I'm here to play. I want to be on the team. But a lot of people are talking about it. He'll most likely start the year in AAA, depending on what happens now to the end of the season. So you gotta think that's going on, right? Also, when I just talked about it, there's with Will Smith with that contract. I mean, okay, Barnesy at some point is going to retire, and I would think maybe after this year. And I feel like it's a more of a shot than Fiducia too as well. That guy's a catcher, so it's gonna kind of work itself out. But if you're Dalton Rushing at this point, take what you've just done as a body of work, continue to do exactly that. And maybe the good thing is you get to start in LA when the season starts, all right? Also, even Dave Roberts, a lot of talk about the whole Freddie thing. And look, you know where I stand on the Freddie Freeman thing. I think that he played on a hurt ankle, and even though you get surgery, in the long run, that's going to cause some problems. And I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer and say, oh, Freddie, he's not going to be able to play. But come on. This is something that we're going to deal with all season long. And if you don't think it is, what is wrong with you? Because we're going to definitely deal with this all season long. All right, so Dave Roberts didn't believe that Freddie Freeman would be able to play opening day. And a lot of people are saying, hey, he's going to be able to play opening day. He's put in a lot of work. He's come along. Certainly not 100% yet, but they're all confident that he'll be in Tokyo ready to play. And, look, he started and played the other day, got a base hit his first at bat. So, he could do that, but it's the wheel that you got to worry about. Roberts was not alone in his thinking. Freeman underwent the ankle surgery in the offseason, but played on a bad ankle throughout the entire month of October. And that, you trade that month, which is the World Series championship, but this ankle is going to cause him problems. That right ankle is going to be a problem down the road. So, to me, you don't need him right off the bat. Don't be a hurry to start him if you feel like you got to. Play him sparingly. Don't have him steal bases. That's one thing. So, I don't know. That's my whole thoughts on if you're going to bring him in. But we'll see how this plays out. I'll keep you updated. What's your thoughts on that? Let's see that below. And that, my friends, is going to do it for Dodgers Digest. Brad J., another edition in the books. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting the like button. Also, thanks for turning on those notifications. That's going to do it for me. Always remember, as you go through the day, just think Dodger blue.